Hello, my friends. We're continuing the productivity series, and as I'm sitting here waiting for my girls' gymnastics class to start, I thought it would be a perfect opportunity to talk about gifts of time. Now, what do I mean by that? Yes, I don't know how well this is going to go because this is my gift of littles. Hey, girls, can you please eat your nails? What do I mean by gifts of time? I mean that we have pockets of time all throughout our day that we just totally waste. So I know we all feel busy. But when we're doing things like waiting for our kids' things to start, or driving to work if you're commuting again, or maybe you're sitting in an airport, or fill in the blank, things that we're just sitting there just waiting for something to start, waiting for something to do, we could, instead of pulling out our phones and just, staring off into outer space for a little while, or playing the latest, balloon popping game or whatever, fits your fancy, you can use those times. You can use those as gifts of time for anything and everything under the sun. So a good example for you is I subscribe to a personal development app. And so I can listen to personal development audios that teach you a whole array of things, right? You can work on your communication. You can work on your, just any skill under the sun, right? If you name it, it has an app for that, or it has an app for that. It has a talk for that, right? Public speaking, management, family life, teenagers, faith-based things, whatever it is. You just dial it in, you choose a speaker, you choose a subject, and away you go. And, it kind of saves your place. Please get off of the chips. Andy, sit in your seat, please. Sit up over here. We're having nachos for dinner, and we're not going to have big chips. Please sit in your seat. And anyway, so while I'm driving the girls to school, or picking them up from school, or waiting in the pickup line, or whatever it is, I can just pop on that audio, and voila, there is your personal development while you're driving. So that is the epitome of multitasking. When you can drive, you can have both hands on the wheel, you can be paying attention, but you can also be doing your personal development at the same time, right? So there are tons of things you can do while you're sitting. I don't recommend reading while you're driving. I saw somebody the other day who almost hit me, and her nose was in a book. At least it wasn't in her phone, like most people I see, but I couldn't believe that she was actually trying to read and drive at the same time. So I don't recommend that. Please do not read and drive at the same time. But, sorry, notifications are going off. But while you are, waiting at the dentist office, or if you are sitting in traffic, if we ever have traffic again, when, society picks up, or waiting to pick up your kids from school, or waiting for an appointment, or whatever it is, leave one of these babies in the car, right? Or just carry it in your purse with you. And when you have that extra 10 or 15 minutes, then pick up your book and read it. I will never, ever be able to describe to you how many of my clients, my friends, people I work with say, I don't have time to read. I just don't have time to read. I just don't have time to read. Well, that's true. It may not seem like we have time to read, but if we can make it a priority and use those little pockets of time, that is the best way. You don't have to get through a book all in one. You don't even have to get through the whole chapter. That, I tell you, so I am very, very detail-oriented and very, very melancholy to a fault sometimes. And I'm telling you, if I picked up a book, I would not pick up a book if I felt like I didn't have enough time to read the full chapter. And I usually read before I'm going to bed, and I'll be falling asleep, like pinching my cheeks, like, no, you have to finish this chapter, right? Well, my friends, don't be like me. You do not have to finish a chapter. You don't even have to finish the page. I now keep a card in my book so I can put it right underneath the line that I'm at, so I can pick back up right where I left off. And if I don't finish the full paragraph, if I'm too tired to comprehend what I'm reading, then I'll put the bookmark back a couple paragraphs, so then I can reread those paragraphs so I can retain what I'm reading, right? So if you're too tired to read before bed, get up 15 minutes early. Spend some extra time in the morning reading. whatever it is for you. But one of the best ways to progress in life, in anything that we're doing, is to learn from somebody else, right? You go to school to get an education. You learn how to do things from listening to other people and talking to other people. Well, guess what? This right here is another person, right? You'd be amazed at the things that you can discover about yourself, about whatever career path you're in, whatever hobby you're interested in. Learn from other people, right? Stand on the backs of giants and utilize those pockets of time that we have to progress ourselves forward. One of the best productivity tips that I can give anyone out there is to utilize these times. I look around and I'm seeing all the other kids as moms just kind of playing on their phones. And I mean, if you're gonna be on your phone, at least maybe pay attention to your child's practice, right? But if you don't want to pay attention to your child's practice, use that time wisely. Use it to better yourself, better your family, better your future. I can't emphasize that more. All right, I know this is probably very distracting for you, and that is the key point that I wanted to make today, is those little pockets of time that we have, think of them as gifts. Think of them as gifts of extra time we have in our day, and let's use them to their fullest advantage. I would love to know how you use your pockets of time. And, you know, if you're using your pockets of time to just zone out for a minute, I totally get it. I've been there too, and I'm not saying that every single time I do something productive, but I will tell you this, my friends, and this is honest from the bottom of my heart. When I sit there and zone off and like play games on my phone, I feel like crap. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you feel that way? When you sit there and you're like, oh, I just can't think, I just need to zone out for a minute. How do you feel? I would love to know. Is it just me? How do you feel after you zone out? How do you feel after you waste those 10, 15, 20 minutes that you can never get back? Do you feel good? Does it help your brain? Do you have clarity? I don't know. Every time I do that, and I do, sometimes I just want to zone out and not think about anything, but I feel like crap afterward. It has not gotten me anywhere ahead. Most of the time my mind's not any clearer. It's just mush. But if I take 10 or 15 minutes and I read a few pages of one of these books, it gets me so jived up. It gets me so energized. My neurons in my brain start firing. And I really do, even though I didn't take time to just, zone out, I feel refreshed. I feel way more refreshed listening to one of my personal development audios or reading a few pages out of a book than I have ever felt zoning out playing a game on my phone. So maybe it's just me. I would love to know how you feel about it, what your thoughts about it are, what you can do in your pockets of time. I would love to know where you can find pockets of time and what you think you can fill those pockets of time with. So comments in, let me know. I would love to know if you got any value out of this. Making this a conversation is so much more fun and so much more productive for both you and me. So I appreciate you. I appreciate spending your pocket of time with me, and have a wonderful rest of your afternoon.